Happy New Year's Eve and welcome into another bowl preview. We have the Sun Bowl, Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl in El Paso. This is between Louisville and Washington. Louisville, at the time of recording here, is a 2.5 point favorite. Over under of this game is 49.5. Again, make sure you do check your own opt outs. From what I'm seeing, Washington looks pretty healthy, pretty not much affected by the opt outs. I do see Louisville's quarterbacks opting out and a couple other players, or sorry, his quarterback is opting out. Washington's quarterback got benched, but the other guy already played a regular season game. Louisville's quarterback's opting out. I think a couple other guys for Louisville. Tough game here. Washington, I think they're 6-6. Louisville, underwhelming ACC year. They looked hot, and then ultimately did not finish the season off on a strong note. I'll send it to you first. I do have a decently strong opinion on this game, but I could easily be persuaded if you give the reason for that I'm thinking to not bet this team. So I'll send it to you. Who do you got? Louisville, Washington.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how you follow this up here with what you're thinking, but I like Louisville quite a bit in this game. Typically, I would look towards that team that gets 6-6, makes the bowl game, but when it's Washington, who's coming off a national championship appearance, given coaching staff is gone, a lot of the players were drafted or transferred away. Um, but that's just not really the type of year that they were looking for here, especially first year in the Big Ten. Again, off the national championship, runner up. I think they had just higher aspirations. Entered the year doing okay. They started out 4-2 before dropping four of their last six. So just not really the way Washington wanted to end the season. And especially off the success they had last year. I think it was just a down year, a disappointing year for this Washington team. Meanwhile, you have Louisville, who started off a little bit shaky, started off 4-3, looked like another kind of subpar year for them before rattling off four of their last five against some decent opponents, too. Beat Clemson on the road, beat Pittsburgh, who we saw up in the rankings, not when they played them, but prior to being played. And then a road win against Kentucky in convincing fashion, 41-14 to wrap up the season. So I really like the way that Louisville ended the year. I think they played with a lot of momentum. Again, we touched on it with some other teams this bowl season, but early on in their year, or about halfway through, they knew their shot at college football playoff was gone. And this was kind of their ceiling at that point. So I like the way this Louisville team's playing. Just don't see the real want or the care for Washington to play here. I think they're ready to ship it in, move on to next year, see if they can get back up to a pretty solid team that they were last year. So give me Louisville minus the points. I think they roll Washington in this one.
Yeah, well, I was on Washington. Like I said, pretty strong opinion. I am going to flip because I was kind of hoping you were going to be in Washington. And if you guys do see Ethan's record over here, he is doing extremely well on our show on Power 5 Picks. He hasn't bet all of those, but he has given all of those out before the game has started. And he is at an unreal clip right now, over, I think, 63% winning his bets on this show. So I am gonna switch. I was worried, Louisville, no quarterback. I was worried about their effort. But the more I start watching these bowl games, I think the line gets over adjusted to star players opting out. We got to remember, it's not quite the NFL. Not every player is getting paid, but a lot of teams also do have backups who are scholarship players, who are 3 to 4 star players in there that are just a little younger, or maybe just not quite to the skill level of the fourth or a fifth or a sixth or a seventh year player that's ahead of them. So yeah, I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna take Louisville. I think people are just gonna see, Louisville is a very pass heavy offense now. And now that they don't have their quarterback, I think people are easily gonna jump ship to Washington. Washington's just not very good. Yeah, I still kind of like them, but I'm gonna go Louisville. I'll go Louisville. I think Louisville. I got to convince myself here because I'm gonna bet this game. I'm gonna take Louisville money line, but I think Louisville wins this game by 14 points. The more I'm looking at it, yeah, I'll go Louisville. I just talked myself. I don't even know if I just convinced myself, but we do have bigger and better games later today, as well as college football playoff games today and tomorrow, where I and Ethan will have more reasoning and a little more confidence behind our picks. as opposed to going around in a circle like we did in this game, like I did in this game. But stay tuned. Please like, subscribe, and share. We do previews on every single bowl game, no matter how good or how bad. They are becoming a lot better bowl games now. We do look back at our page. We had some bowl games we covered where, to be quite honest, we didn't know what the hell we were talking about. So now we have a couple more games. We know a little bit more about these teams. But stay tuned, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
You better start listening to the Better in Green podcast. You will not regret it. Trust me, trust me, trust me. And hey, I'm Dean Blandino.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? Listen in and cash out. That's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover old spot from the bottom to the top. Hey, shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome, welcome to our podcast. Better in Green.